Carmichael Manor. Where to begin?
Hell House LLC Origins, the Carmichael Manor. This was a fantastic movie. Etep Wakuian, right back here with you. I've covered the other three. Why not this one too? It's been a while. Sorry, this is a re-upload because the file got corrupted on the other one. It cut off at 8 minutes, which the original review was like 14 minutes. I don't want to make it that long. But as I said, let's talk about this movie because there is a lot of good in it, and it is just a fantastic addition to this franchise. So we have our cast of characters in this. We have our two investigative journalists. We have Rebecca and Margot. And then we have Margot's brother Chase, who will basically round out our main cast in this, outside of seeing the Carmichaels in flashback sequences, which we do because they are in the aforementioned Carmichael Manor, trying to stay there for 5 days to catch some scary stuff on tape. And boy, oh boy. So to set this up, the Carmichael Manor, this movie takes place in 2022, or, I believe it's supposed to be. After the events of the Hell House trilogy, which kicked off in 2009 and then picked up in 2018 and 2019. So we have that trilogy out of the way with, the original event taking place in 2009 there. So this one, the murder at the Carmichael Manor took place in 1989. So it predates Hell House by 20 years. But our story unfolding now takes place post Hell House trilogy. And rest assured, my friends, you don't need to see the Hell House trilogy to enjoy this movie, but to understand all the Easter eggs and nuances and character connections, because they do reference Andrew Tully in this, and they do connect him to the Carmichaels through the clowns, which we learned their names, their origin. They came from a fair in West Virginia, which they met Patrick Carmichael, and he worked there because the game from the fair is in this house behind these French doors, which God knows why they opened them, and I'm jumping all over the place here. But my goal is not to make this review that long, but I just want to go through the things I liked, what I didn't like, and score it for you guys. Okay, so the cast. We have a good cast. We have 3 main actors, and they do their jobs well. I like movies like this with a smaller cast because it makes you feel a bit more claustrophobic, if that makes sense, because there's only 3 of them. And what I mean by claustrophobic is it ups the tension. Even though we're set in a huge mansion, it just ups the tension because there's only 3 cast members that are fodder basically for this evil entity. So it really makes them be creative and prolong the scenes and the build of the tension to the denouement, which I really enjoy. It's not that I don't like bigger casts with higher body counts, but those are in slasher movies. Stuff like this, the more psychological type based horror, supernatural stuff, this worked very well. We know the flashback footage we're seeing of the Carmichaels, they're dead. They've been dead. Well, at least the ones they show, Well, I'm not going to, like I said, light spoilers in this one, not going full on spoiler territory, but I like how we have, the one daughter died in a car accident, the son survived, and then, the mom and the other daughter were murdered, and the dad and the brother have been missing, and then you have all this imagery of the clowns, which we saw in Hell House, and yeah, they open up this room with these French doors in there, and these clowns are in there, the outfits, the masks on mannequins, and it's like, so this happened in 89, and the clowns were present in the Abaddon Hotel in 2009, and then again in 2018 and 2019. that's gone. It's been burned down. How they got back to Carmichael Manor is another story. So they're locked in this room, and it's like, well, how the hell were they in the house then? How did that exactly work? And I was like, well, what the, it's very cool. This is by writer-director Stephen Cognetti, who is responsible for this entire universe, which I want more of this. I was not a big found footage guy. In my horror taste, I more prefer the slasher genre, and sometimes a good creature feature. This was a fantastic addition to this. The budget for this was a little bit higher, you can tell. So we have our main location. They go about the town. They go into town a little bit, and we have another Easter egg to the original trilogy are the items they find in the clock. There's a necklace, letters that are Rebecca and Margot find in there. And again, light spoilers, but I mean, if you didn't already even hypothesize that none of these people make it out alive, none of these people make it out alive. There are some shocking scenes in this. There's not a lot of gore, obviously. I mean, there was some bloody kills in Hell House. We saw some blood in that one, especially at the end. This we get a little bit. It's used very well. I'll say this: the effects are used very well in this, and obviously mostly practical, which is fantastic. I prefer that to the VFX and green screen. Far and away, hands down. So this is good. The connection, like I said, the connection to Andrew Tully's good. All the stuff they develop and they lay out for you, the mythos, and especially the scene on the piano where I believe it is, I can't remember the daughter's, Catherine Carmichael maybe? But the one daughter that lives, she was like a filmmaker. She was filming everything too. She finds in Patrick, her brother's trunk, because after the accident, he's acting funny. Well, it turns out he joined Tully's cult. But she finds the music. You know what I'm talking about.
Something's coming, cold the nightfall, all things dying, never come back. Through the ashes, grasp your curses, pray to him, you'll never come back.
So that was her learning how to play that music, which it's actually funny because I do own a piano and, well... But back to the movie. So, a lot of tension set up, and one thing that really bothered me, and I've been on record as saying this with modern horror movies, that bothers me is the use of these cell phones. It can destroy tension, but you always have a creative reason why they don't work. This one, it was the car didn't start. They had good, but they made a point to say they had good internet, reliable internet there, which means they would have cell phone reception. So why they never at any point decided to call the gentleman who was like the caretaker for the manor, who said their offices are only 15 minutes away, why they never called him once things started to go awry is beyond me. But it didn't take me out of the movie. It's just a bad decision made by a character that was written to make that decision for reasons of the plot, which actually work out to the movie's benefit. Because obviously, like I said, they all die. Chase goes first, the brother, and we do get a great bloody scene of him. It's after the fact, not during his death, which is terrifying. And then we have the cult showing up in the house. We see the clown stalking Chase. That's one thing I'm going to say is... those clowns just, I'm literally, I'm sitting in my office here, and it's not just because it's cold, but I'm getting goosebumps from talking about those freaking clowns. They're absolutely just nightmare fuel. So great, great effects, the practical, the scares, the tension, it's all built up wonderfully. Rebecca and Margot, their chase sequence, no pun intended, when, you know, they think they found Chase, they think he's here, they think he's there, they hear him crying out, blah, 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 they're outside. They try to walk away from the manor, which they're like, we'll wait till 2, we'll wait till 4. Oh shit, it's going to be dark soon. Let's try to walk through the woods. It's like, oh my God. They run into the cult members who want to get herded back to the house, basically. And yeah, they both meet their demise. There's a great scene with Rebecca earlier on a Zoom call, and she's showing her boss these slides from a real estate property. She works in real estate, and she goes, oh, well, I got another one too, goes this other listing, and it turns out to be pictures of Carmichael Manor, and you see the foyer, going up the stairs, a little bit further up the stairs, turning on the landing up the stairs, in the bedroom where Rebecca's sitting with her back to the door. And again, absolute goosebumps, and my hair is standing up, because that feeling is something we've all had at some point when you're sitting in a room and you swear somebody's behind you. It's not like you're watching something on a live Zoom call. Like, if I was watching this, if I'm recording something or I'm live streaming and I see somebody behind me, it's like, tension was done well there. Of course, Margot and Rebecca die, and I'll leave that, you know, like I said, how everything unfolds, I'll leave that for you to discover yourself. But I did want to add that there is a stinger at the end of the credits in this, and again, just unsettling stuff. And that's what works so well for this movie, which is currently right now on Rotten Tomatoes, 83% critic, 87% audience score, which is shocking for a horror movie to be doing so well on that site. Now, say what you will about Rotten Tomatoes, I know I just go there for a frame of reference, but this one did have noticeably a larger budget, and I have to give credit to Stephen Cognetti for this, because it is a fantastic movie. I enjoyed it. I'm about to watch it again for I think the second or third time before Trina and I go in a little more in depth and talk about it. I just wanted to do a quick review for you guys, give you my thoughts on it. I know what you're thinking, Etep. You score these things. What is your score for Hell House LLC Origins, the Carmichael Manor? Glad you should ask, my friends, because we have a new and improved scoring system here. We will be going on the 1 to 5 hockey mask scale. And Etep, well, my final score on this would be 4 out of 5 hockey masks. This movie is engaging, entertaining, great scares, tension, well acted, well written, well directed, all around solid movie. 4 out of 5 hockey masks from your boy. That being said, folks, I don't want to go on any longer. We're going to cut this right here. But if you want more horror content, you want more reviews, holla at your boy. Also, folks, like I said, I'll be having Trina from Real Horror back on. We'll be discussing this at length with full spoilers and so much more. I have reviews of Halloween 1 and 2 coming out. I'm going to start covering the VHS series, which I've heard so much good things about those. So we'll be doing those and much, much more. Subscribe. This is the obligatory me asking you. Come on, subscribe. I put out a lot of content, and I enjoy doing it, and I am passionate about horror. Subscribe to the channel, ding the bell. If you want to, you can join as a channel member. That's $2.99 or $4.99. Gets you early access to videos, exclusive members only content, streams, which we're going to start doing again. Tales from the Crypt commentaries. I believe we'll be recording a couple of them this week, Vinny and I. So yeah, join us, folks. Like I said, if you don't want to join as a channel member, just subscribe. It's free. It always will be. Content at least 4 or 5 days a week. Live streams, you know it. I'm done. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm Etep from The Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all yous. If I don't see ya, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I will catch you on the next one.